Why is the world so much interested in African continent? The West has an interest in Africa. The Asians, the Europeans, in fact, all the world has interest in Africa. Why? My people, I greet you. This is NDS Opinion TV. I'm here again. Last, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, is in South Africa for the 10th summit of the Unified Nations for BRICS. It's in South Africa for their 10th summit on their discussions on how to form or create a new currency called BRICS, which will be used to fight the supremacy of dollar that is imposed to the whole world by the Americans all these years. That is the essence of the meeting. So, South Africa is part of the team or part of the country that makes up the BRICS, which will have the letter B is of the Brazil, the letter R is of the Russia, the letter I is of the India, the letter C is of the China, and letter X is of the South Africa. You see, Africa has the raw material, has what it takes to be a great nation. Africa has all that it takes to thrive as a country blessed by nature. But the selfishness of our leaders, the stupidity of our leaders, kept costing us what we should be enjoying as a nation. Years has come and gone by since the white man left after colonization, and now what we have is decolonization, which they are using political system and other policies that they are using to steal control. But that is not just why we remain underdeveloped. African leaders will steal our money and bank it abroad. African leaders will own company abroad, buy houses abroad, at the detriment of the African nations. The countries where these monies are banked uses the money to run their country. The companies they own abroad, they pay taxes over there. The houses they bought help to progress and build the economy of the country. Their children's schools abroad, none of them schools there in Africa. So how do you think that the African country will develop? Why they own such beautiful mansions, companies, billions of dollars banked abroad? How do you think that the Africa will develop? You see, the underdevelopment of Africa is no longer in the hands of these people. It is in our hands. Until the day that African nations will arise to ask ourselves questions, why our leaders kept stealing our money and banking them abroad at our own detriment, Africa will remain underdeveloped. Coming to form, the unification to bring out a new currency called BRICS, it's not just the issue, it's not just for me, I'm not overwhelmed by this, because why China and Russia and the rest of them are so interested to include Africa in this journey? It's because of the raw material, what they will benefit from the African continent. Take it or leave it. What they will benefit from us is more to what they are giving. The story I've been heard that the Putin put some bills on the African countries about dollars or whatever, be $50 million. It's not just that. There are more to what we are seeing. So I am of the opinion, if the African nations will unite at this point in time, will unite and ask themselves questions, why is these people so interested in us? See, the African man, the head of every human created by God, the color of our hair is black. to tell that Africa, we are the heir of every creature of God called human. Yes, we are the heir. Until we take our place before the old age where the gray hair of white will come up. But we have belittled ourselves. We have belittled ourselves in the sense that we have stooped so low to the white to regulate and control us as if we want nothing. Until today we began to bank this stolen money that will keep on. Our leaders stole our money, they will loot the money and bank them abroad. While the Western world will use this money to develop themselves. And the country where this money is being looted from will remain underdeveloped, and our raw materials will be siphoned on daily basis. I fear China, I fear Russia for this unification. I'm not saying that the Western world should continue because they have treated us so bad, but there are more to what these people are after than what they are offering. It's time African unity should be stronger than what it used to be. Africa they should have their own currency, not dollar, not BRICS. Africa should have their own currency, just like Muammar Gaddafi, while he was alive, he was advocating for the African currency. That's what Africa should be looking at, and not depend on any nations. This game is playing at our own detriment.
As you can see, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in South Africa for the 10th BRICS summit happening in Johannesburg, Sandton. He is one of 5 heads of state that have arrived. The Brazil president, the Indian president, and they're all here to, well, I guess, work on the economies. It's a grouping of emerging economies. And remember, this year's theme is BRICS in Africa. So a strong African link, collaboration for inclusive growth and shared prosperity in the 4th industrial revolution. The 5 heads of states of the BRICS member nations are attending the 3-day event, which will end tomorrow. That's Brazil's President Michel Temer. The Russian president has just arrived, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and President Xi from China. Of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa is this year's host. Remember, we've also got a strong component of African nations that are also present here. They are part of the BRICS Africa outreach program. The heads of state from Namibia, Gabon, Angola, Senegal, Uganda, Togo, as well as Rwanda will be also in attendance. So indeed, a very, very important summit. The BRICS Leaders Summit is convened annually with discussions representing spheres of political and social economic coordination. And the chairmanship of the forum is rotated annually among its members, according to the acronym BRICS. So lots of excitement, I guess, in terms of trying to get investment, in terms of trying to move these 5 nations forward, in terms of global economics. We do know about what's happening with the United States and its relationship with the global community, the issue of protectionism. That's key. That is, I guess, one of the broader themes of the BRICS summit. How do they overcome these challenges in terms of certain tariffs that are being imposed on steel and aluminium? Remember, South Africa was invited to join BRICS in December 2010, after which the group adopted the acronym BRICS. And former President Jacob Zuma subsequently attended the 3rd BRICS summit in China, which was back in 2011. There you go, the Minister Naledi Pandor walking on the tarmac there with the arrival of President Vladimir Putin in South Africa for the 10th BRICS Summit happening in Sandton, Johannesburg. Okay, let's leave it there. Let's take a bit of a break. The agenda will be back in a short while. Stay with us.